Well, hello. Welcome to the Queen of Skeins. My name is Brandy, and I am your yarn host today. This is an episode of our Slow Stitch Hour, where you just grab your project, whatever it may be. You grab something to drink, because it's going to be at least an hour. And we just sit back together and be cozy and comfortable and work on what we want and chat about crafty stuff. So oh my gosh, this is so good. I'm having a London fog today, which is Earl Grey tea brewed real strong with cream and lavender and vanilla and honey. It's real good. And then I even put like whipped topping on top because I was just feeling some kind of a way. We are joined today, right now, in this moment, by Rosie. Rosie was a foster fail. She was a mama that had, oh goodness, Rosie had 4 kittens of her own, plus we gave her another abandoned kitten that she just took in just like her own and nursed it as well. And when it was time for the kittens to go, I just couldn't bear to let Rose go because she just was too precious to me. So Rosie lives with me now, and she's very sweet. And one of the reasons why Rosie just became so special in our family was because this lady, who is Luna, she's my tortoiseshell, tortitude cat. She doesn't like any cats at all. She likes Rosie. Who knows? Who knows? I think she thinks Rosie's her daughter because she's about 10 years old and she is going on 2 years old. So Rosie was only a year old when she had her babies. So Rosie and Luna are joining us. We have one more here. And I don't know that you guys can see them at all. I'm just, if you can, great. If not, I'm sorry. I can't see what's on the camera. But underneath the blanket, we have a big old fat calico lady named Gaia. So, she wanted to be underneath. She doesn't want to be disturbed today. So, before I get started, I figured I would tell you guys what I'm wearing today. It's not cold by any stretch, but we've had consecutive overcast, rainy days. I think it's probably in the, I don't know, high 60s, mid 70s. I don't know. Let's look and see. Let's just not lie about it when we have technology right here at our fingertips. We could just look and I can tell you guys. It is 73 and it feels like 73. So it's not cold, but it's cooler than it has been, especially at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I just woke up and I was just chilly today, so I put on my skeleton sweatsuit because creepy is always in season, in my personal opinion. And I was still cold, so I thought, you know what, I want to wear my shawl. And I thought, double win, I can show you guys because I've not shown this since I finished it. Plus, I also think it has a redeeming nature to it as well, because I know you guys hear me be a bit of a yarn snob, but this here is not yarn snob yarn, and I love this project so much. Some of you will know exactly what yarn this is. I love this colorway. I have always loved this colorway, and I didn't care what it was made out of. I was gonna have it. This is your Red Heart Jumbo Super Saver. So the cheapest of the cheap Red Heart. And it's their neon stripes colorway. This is a free pattern right here on good old YouTube. Stephen West has it up for you. It's a Boneyard Shawl. Love it. Easy. Has interest. Easy with interest. That's what I love. If you have reservations about using acrylic yarns or using Walmart cheaper yarns sometimes, don't. Because here's the thing with this. Is it my first choice? No. I would have preferred natural fibers. I like them because I find them cozier, warmer, all those things. I've talked about it before. This yarn is fine. There's nothing wrong with this yarn. Number one, I can throw this in the washing machine and the dryer anytime I want. That means something. Number two, what this feels like at Walmart is not what this feels like right now. I think I don't have to show you guys. Do you see how drapey this is? This is beautiful. It hangs gloriously. Do you know what I did to block it? Because you can't truly block acrylic. I know some people say you can. I have tried. I tried so hard to block a flat stockinette stitch scarf with no border on it. And it was a really, really horrible thing. I ended up just trying to melt it a little bit with my iron to get it to stop rolling. But all you have to do is throw it in the washer and in the dryer, and it's perfect. And it looks great, and it's gonna last forever. And this yarn is glorious. This reminds me of being a kid. Late 80s, early 90s. That was my childhood. This is representative of that in color. So that's what I'm wearing today. Again, Stephen West Boneyard Shawl, free pattern. Highly recommend. I'll put the link for it in the description box for you guys if you want to check out that video. Now, if you watched my last video, you know that I said that I was probably going to do something that I ought not do, and I did. I decided to cast on a dumpling bag. I did it this morning, and I've just been knitting away. I already know I'm going to make more than one of these because this is just going to be so cute. I've watched Purl Soho's cowl. I've watched several different people making this on YouTube this morning while I've been working on it. One thing I will do differently when I cast on my next one is they have you cast on, this is a free pattern. Before I even go into anything, I'm not giving away some secretive information here. The free pattern has you do a provisional cast on and for 100 stitches. Okay. Then you're just knitting in the round until you get the desired length. And then you'll do your straps. And then you will come back to this provisional cast on. That's what this blue yarn is. And you'll pick up your stitches, and they have you leave yourself a 2-yard tail so that you can do a Kitchener stitch, and that way you have a seamless bottom. This will be closed up. This is the bottom of the bag. It'll be seamless. Beautiful, fine, not a big deal. I prefer to not do this. If I had watched some of the videos before I did this, I would have cast on the same way I do for a toe-up sock, where you take your 2 needles and you basically figure 8, half of the amount of stitches you want. So because I need 100, I would have done 50 stitches. And then you simply knit on the front needle and you knit on the back needle, and you're knitting in the round. And because you're knitting 50 stitches front and back, so that would give you your 100. Does that make sense? If you've ever done a toe-up sock, you probably know what I'm talking about. But it's seamless, and then you don't have to come back. You don't have to come back later and seam this close. So that's what I'm gonna do next time, and there will be a next time because I'm already thinking about all the things I want to make with this. 100% I will order. I think it's the It's Purl Soho's, I think it's called Blackbird. It is their linen, not their linen quill, which is a blend, but it's their pure linen, I believe. This pattern calls for just one skein of that. I want to obviously make it in the called for yarn because I want to be able to start giving you guys reviews of not only the patterns. If you've been with me for a little while, you know I've knit quite a few patterns so far by Purl Soho, and I've loved everything that I've knit so far. There are more things I have on my list that I would like to knit. Some things that I have knit, but not with the called for yarn, that I want to go back and knit again. But I want to do everything with the called for yarn so that when I'm reviewing the pattern, I can also review the yarn, and so we'll get double. But you can always make a pattern with whatever yarn you have in your stash, which is what I did for this one, because I didn't want to wait. I wanted to cast on right now. So I did not have any pure linen yarn, and I knew that with this being a bag, I wanted it to be something durable. So I decided to go with, I don't have a lot of non-wool yarns, but I did have some Kobu, which is a cotton and bamboo blend, and I thought that that would be nice. It says that their linen yarn, I believe it said it was a light worsted. I feel like I looked it up, which is why I went with this yarn, because it is listed as a 3. But anyways, I'm getting gauge. I did go down a needle size from what the pattern recommended, and I'm getting gauge, which was 20 stitches by 27 rows. And I'm actually getting 21 stitches by 28 rows. And I'm okay with that because this is a bag. And maybe I would go down one more needle size if it was for a top, but then I might not quite get gauge. So over 4 inches if I've got one extra stitch. It's easy enough if it was a garment to figure that out. Anyway, so that's what I'm working on. This is going to be easy peasy because all I need to do here is simply knit. After you cast on 100 stitches, you just knit in the round until you have just under 8 inches. And from what I understand, after that, you just bind off some stitches, put some stitches on hold so that you can do your handles. The handles, one handle is a long loop and one handle is a shorter loop, and you thread your longer loop through the shorter one to cinch the bag closed, and then you can put your arm through the longer loop to have a wonderful project bag, in my opinion, for walking and knitting, which I talked about. But I think this little bag would just be adorable. I enjoyed watching the knit along that Purl Soho has on YouTube too, because number one, I was just kind of learning all the tips and tricks, and it's fun to see it because they do those knit alongs on Zoom. So any participants can join right in, and at the end of their knit along sessions, they always allow people that want to show their work in progress, or a lot of the people have jumped ahead and have already finished the project and are working on a second one. So you get to see all the fun creativity that people have and what they did. You know, while there are certainly some people who just knit this in just the plain old one color, a lot of people got real creative with it and did different color work or color blocks. One lady, I just thought it was so simple but just so cute. I would say what she did was she used 2 different colors, and she knit like the first half one color of the body of the bag, and then the second half another color, and then she went on and picked up the stitches in that same color for the first strap, And then when she picked up her stitches for the second strap, she went back to that original color for the little handle. And so the big handle looped through, so you had a, like, say a pink bottom with a red top, and then you looped the red handle through a little pink, you had a little pink band. It was cute. It was just a cute little color block technique that she did. Some people did straight up color work with all kinds of amazing designs, and you know, they're just like, oh, it's just 100 stitches in the round. You can easily incorporate color work and things like that if you want to. A lot of people ended up lining their bags with sewn fabric liners. One little gal knit some pockets for the inside of her bag, which was really cute. All kinds of fun ideas. And I really like one of the things that I've struggled with for crochet and knit bags in the past have been the straps stretching far too much. But one of the nice things about this pattern, if you go and look at it, again, I will place the link in the description box so that you can get the free pattern if you want it. But one of the things that I noticed in the pattern is on the straps, on the edges of the straps, they almost have, it kind of lends itself to being like an I-cord edge. And if you know anything about I-cord, you know that it doesn't stretch. And I thought, wow, that is so smart. Usually we're just really being very careful when we're doing our I-cord edge to do it super, super loose so that we are not bound so tight on our shawls and things like that. But on a bag, an I-cord edge on both sides of the handle, that's brilliant. It's gonna keep that bag from hanging down to your feet and dragging on the ground. So that was another feature that I really, really liked. So yeah, I honestly think that if you had like a whole day, you could easily probably do this bag in one day. Now, it's probably gonna take me more than one day just because I have other things. No fighting, let's don't fight. Hey, sorry. No fighting, that's not nice. Ceylon, come here. Come on, Bubby, come up. Bubby, be nice. Anyway, I have other things that I've got to work on, but yeah, I think you could probably do this. It's certainly a weekend project. I think it'd be a really good weekend project. I think it'd be a really good car knit. I think it'd be a really good on-the-go knit because you don't really have to be paying attention to anything until you're ready to do your handles, and even that doesn't look tremendously difficult after watching people do it on the Knit Along by Purl Soho. So anyways, so that's what we're working on today. And then I was just kind of browsing through, and I did see really cute double knit pot holders on their site. That was another free pattern, and those look really cute because I kind of really need to make myself some new pot holders. I have some crochet ones, and they're okay, but even though they're double thick, I still have had, well, one that I've had problems with is because the person, I didn't make it, somebody else made it for me, and they did use like a double crochet, and even though it's a double thick, I don't know, it's just easy for steam and things like that to seep through and get me. So I like knit because it's going to be more solid. But the double knit version that they had, it looked like it'd be really good. So using some good kitchen cotton and doing the double thick style. I kind of want to make some of those for my kitchen. Plus, some of you may know, I've been working on my kitchen for a while, slowly transitioning it over to a Halloween themed, a classy Halloween. You know, we don't want it to look like the Dollar Tree threw up in there. So it's, you know, classier, but like my oil and vinegar bottles are really pretty glass with bats, and we've got everything is kind of color coordinated to be orange, black, white, purple, green across the board. And I thought, you know, I could make myself some nice pot holders that are really going to match my color scheme. You don't see a lot of, you know, not a lot of stuff on the market, especially outside of seasonal. That's why I love TJ Maxx. I can go in TJ Maxx and literally find nice, not cheap or tacky looking Halloween decor for a kitchen, but not this time of year. So, yeah, I thought I might make some of those next. I was also looking at, I was really looking through this pattern. They have a pattern that is for a top-down yoke style, whatever you want it to be. It's one of those patterns where they show it with different options. You know, you could like have a ribbed option for your neck and your cuffs, or you can have a rolled type. It's kind of one of those things where you just go and you're like, okay, I want it to be a tee with ribbed, and I want it to have 3/4 sleeves. Like, they got it where you can just mix and match and choose all the features you want. So you can make anything from like a summer tee to a big bulky winter sweater, right? So I'm kind of thinking I might like to knit that. I love a yoke pattern. I just find them so easy to do, and I find that I get pretty decent little fit with them because you just start on, as long as I don't cast on my neck. I've learned to take time and do the Italian or whatever cast on it tells you to do. I've learned to not go my own way on that and just be lazy, because I've had a few projects that I just was like, oh, a long tail cast on will be fine. And then it's so unstretchy that I have a hard time getting it over my head. But as long as I do that, take the time and do the proper cast on, I always love my yoke style. Because you basically just cast on and then you're just knitting in the round in whatever fashion they tell you to, with whatever increases, until it's big enough to where it fits underneath your armpits comfortably, and then you just connect it and knit the rest of your body and do your sleeves at the end. So I've got that one on my list. There's another one that I have on my list that is gorgeous, and it's a little, I'm not sure if they have it listed as a scarf or as a shawl. It was specifically made for a skein of their cashmere, which I am sure is maybe the most glorious thing in the world. I've never had a skein of cashmere yarn, pure cashmere. I've had some blends, but this is made with their cashmere, and it is such a beautiful kind of a shawlette or scarf. I'm not sure what they're calling it. It's shaped in such a way, think like Sophie scarf type of a shape, if I'm remembering it properly in my head. That really long, shallow triangular, but it's got these baubles on it, and like I feel like it's got some lacy bits going through it. The model is done with like a cream or a white. It's so beautiful looking, and so that's on my list. There was a particular knit hat that I found that I really liked. That's on my list. I'm collecting the patterns. And if you watched my last video, you saw that I had recently completed my little dot bandana, and that I absolutely love. I did it in my own, in yarn that I had in my stash, which was a 50% camel, 50% mulberry silk yarn, held double with a kid silk mohair. Theirs is made with one strand of their 100% mulberry silk yarn held with their kid mohair. So, or silk mohair, whatever, their mohair. So I definitely know I want to make another one because I love that. It's so glorious, and it is amazingly cozy for something that's so, I don't know, I think of it like when you're holding it, it has no weight. Like it's so, which, you know, I know that there are people that they don't like something heavy on their shoulders or neck. And honestly, I really don't. For long term, I don't like to have something, I start to feel it heavier than it should be if it's just on the back of my neck. But this has no weight. It just feels like nothing. It's like a little cloud. But when you put it on, I mean, I couldn't wear it. Like I can wear this right now. I could not wear that right now, not wrapped around like I had it yesterday. I could probably wear it like this. It has a substantial amount of warmth. It's gonna be great for this winter. I just made the bandana size, which is still very ample, to be clear. I assume that the shawl size is huge because the bandana size takes 1 skein and the shawl size takes 3. So I imagine it's pretty big. I would say it must be around about the size when you have your half and half triangle wrap folded in, because each side of that, it doesn't even take 3, it only takes 2 and a bit. But it still calls for 3 for each side. So that may be the case with this too, where you don't actually use all of the 3rd skein. But either way, it's gonna have to be at least that big, which is a great size in my opinion. So I don't know, depending on how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking, I might cast on for the shawl size for the little dot because it's really nice. I really love it. Gosh, thinking about having a super-sized one with all that beautiful mohair, that sounds pretty good. That does sound pretty nice. And then next up, I'll be making a full-on blanket size little dot. Oh my goodness. I can see it happening. So yeah, that's what's been floating around in my noggin. Thinking about all kinds of things that I want to do when I've still got 1 billion things to do. So many things. I am going to have to do a WIP video for you guys. I have got a lot of really cool things on the needles that are very close to being finished. On Mother's Day, my husband took me to a little yarn shop in the city and let me buy yarns. It was lovely. And one of the things that I knew I wanted to make was a Jessie Made Designs mini mock neck tank. And so I had purchased some haiku yarn, their Kobasi, which is cotton, bamboo, and silk. And I cast that tank on. That was on Saturday when he took me. I cast that on Mother's Day on Sunday. And I don't have much left to finish. It's just similar to what I'm doing here. That pattern you cast on, how do you cast that on? You cast on like the front panel and then the back panel, and then how does it work? I can't remember. I feel like or it's not really the panel. You cast on at the top of the neckline, front and back though. So you're doing the front and then you're doing the back, and then you're seaming your front and picking up and doing, I can't remember, it's top down. I'm to the part where I've already done underarms and I'm just knitting down the body. So I have to knit the body a certain amount of length and then finish off the bottom with the ribbing, and then you come back and you pick up your neckline and you do the mini mock neck. And that's it. That's all I've got left. It's done in such a way to where you get a really pretty ribbed edging that's happening around the armholes already, so you don't have to worry about anything with armholes. It's done when it's done. It's already done right now. So like I say, I've just got to finish my length and add my ribbing on the bottom and then pick up my neckline. It shouldn't take me, it's probably a day's worth of knitting if I just sat down and got it going. So I've got that going. I've also got my very first, I've never knit one of these, but I had cast on several months ago a Ranunculus. And I wanted to do the extra bougie version where I just held 2 strands of mohair together, and that's it. And of course I've cast on the neck, I've finished the yoke, I've joined underneath. I'm just knitting down the body now. So all I will have to do is finish the body off and bind off with whichever ending I want to do. And I'm about 99% positive that I just want to have the cap sleeve. So I don't know if I'm gonna do ribbing or if I want to just have it a rolled. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. But I mean, it's almost done. Not even a day's worth of knitting. And it's really pretty too. I used Knitting for Olives mohair in this really pretty like dusty rose. It's so beautiful. So yeah, that's something else that's just right there on the edge, almost done. I've got this sitting over here, this crochet vest. All I have to do is piece the rest of it together and then pick up I wanted to do knit edging. But I mean, everything's crocheted. I've already pieced the front panel, so I just have to piece the back panel and put them together and then go through and pick up my neckline, my hem, and my armholes. And I wanted to do a ribbed edging. So that's almost done. What else do I got? Obviously, I have my cowl for my half and half. That's almost done. I think I'm like on 171. On the second triangle, there's 260 stitches. You start by picking up 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then so on and so forth. Resolving those short rows as you go. I'm on 171. So I have like 89 forward and backwards passes. And that will be done. I also have another half and half triangle that I had cast on, I don't know, sometime last fall. That is right there at the end as well. Less than 100 front and back passes to finish it off. So those 2 half and halves are right there at the edge. What else do I got? I have so much. So many things that are just so close to being completed. I do still have my mom's button box throw that needs to be finished at some point. Good grief. I also have the button box throw that I had cast on for myself with my glorious Halloween yarns from Knit Style. The poison green and the familiar black, and I can't even remember. Oh, she had some kind of a gray that has like little orange and black speckles going through it. It's so beautiful, so pretty. So I've got that. And then there is really just an obscene amount of half-finished projects. I have a Sophie shawl that is about 2/3 complete. I have a Andrea Mowry Find Your Fade shawl that is about 2/3 complete, I think. At least half. Oh, I have a lot. A whole lot of stuff. Kind of was looking for something not too long ago, and I was opening all my project bags, and I was just, oh, I have some socks, several pairs of socks that need to be finished off. It's ridiculous. Those socks. I have a really cute shawlette, bandana shawl style that I am trying to get finished off. My husband has come stomping through making all kinds of racket. It's a Hoagie Locatelli. It's very lacy and cute, and it's got a lot of fringe on it. I can't remember the name of the pattern, but it is like 2/3 of the way done. It's crazy. And then I have a huge 50-gallon tote of things that I'll probably never wear. I need to sell them or something. What do you guys think? How should I go about this? Should I started posting my is it called Coffee or Ko-Fi link in my description, just for anybody who wanted to donate. And I noticed when I was on there, because I'd never used it, I'd set it up a long time ago, but I just never used it. When I went there to get the information that I needed, I noticed that you can have like a little shop on there. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I wonder how that works. I don't know. I haven't looked into it any more than that, but I thought, well, I wonder if I could put my stuff that I just need to get rid of, that I've made, that I won't wear. You guys should know. You probably have this yourself. I think I have something like 80 shawls. And I wear like 7 of them consistently. So the other ones just stay in the big heavy bin that I don't drag out unless I'm looking for something specific, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this, and then it stays in there for another few years until I go looking again. But anyways, I should probably get rid of some things because I don't need all this stuff. It was just the joy of making and the excitement of making, but I have become a lot more picky about what I'm making now, and I'm trying to only make things that I know I will use, instead of just making things because they look neat, or in my mind I'm like, well, I can always make it and give it to somebody else at some point, or whatever. Yeah, so I'm like, there's only so much time in this world, and I might as well be making things that I'm actually going to use, because I don't want to keep wasting all my time making things I don't even want, because that means I don't get to make some of the things I do want, right? I have no idea how long this video is going, you guys. Usually I have my iPad facing me. using the front camera, which is the lower quality. It's also the opposite of where the microphone, I don't know, I've found that when I use my back facing camera, the microphone is far more sensitive. So I should probably just break down and buy a microphone. I know they're very inexpensive for like those little lapel mics. I just simply have not done that yet. But I didn't look at my watch when I started this process to see what time it was. So this could be the slow stitch, who knows how long, because I can't see my screen to know how long I've been recording for. Well, I guess. Hey, here's one idea. What is this? Okay, I had started this video. How long has that been going? This is a fairly decent, I think I started this about 10 minutes before I started the video. It's another bit of, it went back to the first video of Purl Soho's knit along for the dumpling bag. And it says it's 51 minutes in, so maybe I've been recording for like 40 minutes ish, so we're probably okay. I'll just go until we're closer to the end of this. So you guys might get an extra long one today, or you might get a not quite there one, just depending on how far off I am on my time. So anyway, you guys tell me what y'all are working on. I got email showing some projects that are being worked on. I love pictures. You can also put pictures if you want in my community tab right here on YouTube. So that is one way. I know you can't share pictures in the comments under the videos, but you can share pictures in my community section of the site, and if you want to. So you don't have to feel pressured to do that. It's just a fun way to share if you feel like it. So let me know if you've made this dumpling bag. It's been really difficult to stay awake these last several days with this really overcast, rainy weather situation that's been going on, and all these cats laying on me. I'll tell you what I am gonna do, because I don't think you guys can see. I don't think you guys can see this, so I'm gonna take a picture. Oh, well, apparently I'm taking a video instead of a picture. This is what I'm dealing with. We've got one tucked under the blanket. We've got two more laying on my lap. They're just so precious. There's some laying. I put some empty Amazon boxes that I got today over there because the cats really love to sit in a box for a good spell and enjoy that. So we've got we've got kitty cats, y'all. I'll just pop this right in so you guys can see it. All right, I think that's pretty good. Pretty good stuff. So yeah, I'll cut that If you saw my last video, you saw we have another new foster baby. His name is Hank. He was abandoned. I knew that one of the feral mamas had a litter of babies at this abandoned home. Oh, my son was telling me because he would see them every day when he would go to work. And then we heard this baby screaming, so we went over to look. I don't know. I've been checking. I don't know if the mom just moved on with the other babies or if something happened to the others. But there's no, I haven't seen anybody. So this little guy was left behind, or he was the last man standing, whichever it was, but he's very precious. He's a little orange guy. Those little orange guys, my daughter messaged, because he's a baby, obviously, and I've got babies. You do not want to intermingle, especially with strays and cats coming in from outside, because they can have, you know, different illnesses that they could give to my resident cats, but especially unvaccinated babies. You know, these guys that are older, they have good immune systems for the most part. I do have one that was, what is she got? FIV positive, which is fine. I just keep her inside. All my cats are indoors, so I don't have to worry about her going out, and it just makes her immune system a little more persnickety. So we definitely don't want to be bringing in weird cooties, but especially with unvaccinated animals, they're just likely to catch things and they can't fight things off as well. So whenever you have a situation like this, you've got to keep everybody separate for a little bit. So my daughter agreed that Hank could come to her house and hang out there while he is getting his wormer treatment and his flea meds, and just give us a time to see if he starts having any kind of symptoms that would indicate any kind of illness or anything that we would need to be worried about. And then he will get to go to the nursery room with the other babies, and I think he'll be so happy because he's super lonely. And she messaged me and said that orange cats were very difficult because apparently he was in a little, it's not little, I say little, it's about 5 foot by 5 foot playpen type thing that I bought specifically for baby animals. He was in there, it's his little house, and he was yelling. He kept her up all night long, and he was very upset. And then it did not take him too long to learn how to scale that bad boy and get out. And then she could not find him for 3 hours. She was just really upset about it because she was like, I know he's here. He's somewhere in this house. I just cannot find him anywhere. So my husband and I finally went over there last night because it was time for him to have his medicine, and it had been 3 hours, and I was like, he has got to be found because we've got to give him his medicine. So I was like, we're just going to start in one corner of your house, and we are literally going to search every square inch, like looking inside the yoga mats, pulling out stuff from shelves and any place that he could possibly be. And we looked for about 5 minutes and we found him. He had literally, she has like a futon style of a couch, and it has a little opening in the fabric where it can lay, where the hinge is, right? Because it's not like a regular futon that has like just a solid mattress. It literally has like seated cushions and then cushion back as well. So anyways, So he had found that little hole where the fabric, it's not a hole like a mistake, it's just where the fabric is joined in a way where he could get in. So he had literally crawled and was inside the back section of her couch in that little place, just living his best life, snooze-a-rooing forever. And I was like, okay, well, that was really scary. So we got him out of there, we got him his medicine, everything went great, and then he hid again, and it wasn't there, and it took her forever to find him, and then she finally found him, and he had gone up underneath her little table by her computer, like in a little, he wants to get in little bitty places, and I'm sure it's just because he was living outside, and being that he's like a 5-week-old kitten, I'm sure his mama had them very tucked away and hidden, and it's their natural instinct to get in these little dark, tiny hidey holes anyways. But I told her, I said, listen, we're just gonna have to, you're gonna have to keep him contained when you're sleeping and if you're gonna be gone, because I don't want him getting off into something where we can't find him and some nook or cranny, and I don't know. So anyways, she is going to be leaving, and she has to, she works away from home, and so she's going to be gone after tomorrow. So tomorrow, which will be day 4 for, well, we got him on Monday. Today's day 4. So anyways, tomorrow's day 5. Still a little too early. He's doing great. He doesn't seem sick at all, but still a little too early for me to put him with the other kittens just yet. So he'll come here, and I have a 4-story fancy, because I get so many kitten litters. I have a 4-story kitten house crate. So it's got lots of, you know, plenty of room for their food and their litter and different levels for toys and bedding and stuff. It's good. It's about 5 foot tall. He'll get to live in there, but out, not in the nursery. I'm bringing it out of the nursery. I'm bringing it out here so that he can continue to be quarantined, and that will keep the big cats from messing with him. And keep him safe. And then once he gets to go into the nursery, he'll be wild and free and can run all around. And he'll be so excited, I think, to have, I just think he's very lonely because he's just a little guy. And he obviously had siblings and a mama, and now he's just by himself. So I think it'll be very good once we can get him with his new adopted brothers and sisters. I think they'll have a great time together. My husband had to, he normally works, 8 to 5 situation at one of the hospitals in the city. He does all of their IT stuff for all of their IT stuff for everything in the hospital. But right now they're upgrading a lot of the software program stuff. So there are things that are not accessible Monday through Friday that are only accessible overnight for him to be able to do. So for instance, the OR technology stuff, you can't just go in there in the middle of the day and shut them out and them not have access to charting and patient information and all the things that they need Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, while he's working and they're also working. So he is doing an overnight shift, so that he can go to all the places that are not operating in the middle of the night and get the rest of this project completed. So he just left. So I'm just gonna be knitting a lot, I guess. We might have to have a late night knit session while I'm sitting here by myself in the dark all night long. So he's supposed to be working until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Because instead of doing an 8-hour shift today and then trying to stay up all night, they just wanted him to come in for like a straight 15 hours. So he's working from 5 p.m., which actually I guess he's getting there at 4. He just left, it's 3. So that he could get all his prep work done. So he's working from 4 p.m. until 8 a.m., which that's 12 hours. I don't know, that's 16. Boy. Hi y'all, does anybody else suffer from brain fog? Anyways, he's gone. I wonder if I tried real hard if I could get all the way caught up on my half and half and finish my dumpling bag. And then tomorrow when he comes home in the morning after working all night long, we just both go to sleep and start an early weekend. Ooh, I don't know if my body could take that though. I haven't done anything like that in a long time. I think I stayed up. My son took me to a concert for Mother's Day. And as my Mother's Day present, it wasn't on Mother's Day. It was like on Tuesday after Mother's Day. But anyways, it was in the city. So I drove to his house and then I let him be my chauffeur and take me to eat and then to the concert. And then I drove from my house back, or from his house to mine, which is just about an hour and a bit drive. But the concert wasn't over until like 10 o'clock and I didn't get home until like 11:30 and I hit the hay as soon as I came in, but that was hard. I think 11:30 or 12 is the latest I've been up in so long. I am very serious about sleep. I do not play around. When I was still working, I was in bed at like 9 o'clock and I got up at like 5 every morning because I am not, I'm not one of those people that can get up and start, uh-oh, your little toes caught. I'm not one of those people that can get up and just start racing around frantically. I need to wake up calmly and have my coffee or my tea, whatever I'm doing. I want to sit down, I want to read, I want to journal, I want to draw some cards, I want to check the weather. You know, I need like a couple of hours of just me time, you know, to come alive and experience the day and contemplate the universe and stuff. But as I, you know, quit working, I was like, there's no reason for me to get up this early. I don't really need to be setting an alarm. So I just have been letting my body kind of dictate everything. And I still will wake up around 6:30, but I'm like usually right in the middle of a real good dream. So I'll be like, I don't have to get up. And I'll roll back over and I'll usually sleep for another 30 minutes or so. So I've been getting up between 7 and 7:30, which is really late for me. It's so weird to get up at that time. But I've also been going to bed at like 10:30. So 10 to 10:30. I usually read for a little while. So that works out. Oh, that scared me. I heard somebody talking outside my house. It's a package delivery. I wonder what this is. Wow, Wow, that person talks real loud. I've never heard anybody that loud outside of my house. My house is pretty well insulated. They should go into a line of work speaking something. They'd be really, they're really good. They're in their truck, because that's what's even crazier. And my house does not like sit on the street. I have a front yard, and then their delivery van is parked in front of my house on the road. We have the sliding door open, but they're inside that truck. I think they're talking on the phone. They are loud. I'm so distracted. Anyways, sorry guys. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah. I'm just gonna knit as late as I can. We'll see what happens. But it would be fun if I were to somehow be able to get this dumpling bag finished. I know I could get it finished if I didn't need to work on my half and half at all. I know I could get it finished, and then I could block it tonight and show it to you guys tomorrow. That could be so fun to have a finished project again tomorrow. Let's see where we're at. It said that after, it said to continue knitting in the round until we were at 7 3/4 inches. I bet we're more than halfway. Let's look. Got my handy dandy this thingy. Looks like we are just over 4 inches. So, whoa. I guess she just likes to drive with her van door open. That was weird. I've never seen anybody do that. Is she just so that distracted? She just took off like fast with the door open. Her stuff is all just, weird. I don't even know what she brought. She didn't bring anything to my porch. I don't see anything across the street either. Oh well, anyway guys, I think that's everything. I'm so sorry. It looks like, I think I'm at around about my timing. It shows that this has been going for 1 hour and 15, and I feel like it was only about 10 minutes in when I started, but I could be wrong. We're all gonna find out together. But yeah, I'm about 4 inches, so I've got another 3 3/4 inches to knit here in the round until I do my little handles. So that is that. And that will be good, right? So we'll see what happens. You never know. You never know. I need to find something real fun that I can put on the TV. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna fall asleep because it's just too cozy in here. Way too cozy. All right, my friends. I really do appreciate you guys coming and being with me today while I rambled on. I had no plan. I didn't have any cool topics today. It's just one of those days, you know, one of those days where you don't want to think too much. You just want to enjoy your knitting or your crocheting or whatever you're doing. I've been looking at my cross stitch too. Oh, I have so many cross stitching things in progress. I wish I had a maid and a cook and someone that could just do all my bidding, a butler, you know what I mean? A chauffeur, someone that I could send to help go and grab things, help the children when they need assistance. Like just sit around and knit and cross stitch and crochet all the time. That would be super cool. All right, guys, well, you take care and come back tomorrow and we'll have something up our sleeve. Whether we end up doing a slow stitch hour or a WIP video or a finished object video. It'll be a surprise for all of us. We'll all find out together. Again, thank you. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.